boy Joe back here with another live stream. Not gonna lie, it's been a minute since we've been live streaming, but I am back. Today we're playing Madden. I'm gonna be playing Madden, but also talking about healthcare. This is a podcast. Going to be a podcast talking about healthcare. Unfortunately, my partner Elijah wasn't able to make it. It is also like 12:30 while I'm doing this at night. I'm kind of gonna start off the basics. Healthcare. You would think healthcare you would need on a daily basis, or let's say when you need it the most. That's why healthcare is there, right? Well, what have I told you? The U.S. is one of the most expensive countries for healthcare. I'll give you an example, right? Total healthcare costs as a percentage of GDP, which is a example of basically the fact, like, growth, basically money, profit, all that good things. Well, the highest is the United States, but the lowest is the United Kingdom. And the numbers, as I read off of it, UK is $151 in US money, US currency, per month, compared to the US $560 per month. Right there, that's almost 3 times more to us for healthcare compared to anything else.
Tonight.
Let me turn this. You know, you think that like there's Switzerland, Germany, Canada, Austria, Japan, Spain, and yet we think that I mean, obviously America has many options or many healthcare organizations, but it doesn't really give the fact that we're the best. I mean, we could be for the fact that, you know, sometimes it might not even, I don't know, let's just say other countries have taxes just like the United States does, but only that other governments tax higher countries than we do. But when I did my research, Canada is kind of more expensive to live there, but the healthcare is way more cheaper than America's healthcare. Let's see. Let me go to my research real quick. Okay. I will, okay, 2018. Let's just say, and the U.S. If you were 70, if you were 70, you would, you would already be paying about $1,000, almost $2,000 for healthcare. But let's just say you're about 78, 79, about 2018, 2019. You would be paying almost a car payment, basically $10,000, just for the fact, almost, just for healthcare. While there's other states or countries like Japan, Switzerland, Germany, Denmark, UK, all of those other countries, you can go to 84, you can reach the age of 84, and you won't even pass the amount of $7,000 in US currency. That's nuts, right? And you would think all these other countries, which is, they say, poor, they barely got insurance, and multiple insurance companies at that. Some of them are private insurance companies, just keep in mind. Let's see. The United States charges 5 times more per person on healthcare than Canada does. Tickets, like I was just saying, Canada is way more expensive to live there, only for the fact that it's rent and inflation. But healthcare is way more cheaper than the US or any of that, you know? You see families basically setting up GoFundMe's, or basically they just go set up campaigns for money just to pay for surgeries or post-operations. It shouldn't have to be like that. You should have insurance that covers you. Yeah, we might have to pay taxes, but we shouldn't have to pay taxes. Then we also have to co-pay on top of that, for the fact that you're already taking so much money from people's paychecks, and then now on top of that, workouts. If I was to put it in perspective, right, I charge you, let's just say you're exploring, you're looking to get a Pepsi, right, a can of Pepsi. You go to one spot, a can of Pepsi equals about $1.50. You go to another store, a can of Pepsi equals about $1.25. And then you go to a big store, right? This has all the good things. Let's go check how much a can of soda. That equals up to about $2.45. Why is that? Is it because there's more options in that store, or is it because of the more amount there is? It's, you gotta kind of put it in perspective. Elijah would have been saying, uh, let's see, Medicare, Medicaid, Medicare, whatever. Even though it's free, or families that don't have enough money or don't make enough money, they apply for Medicaid. Even though they apply for Medicaid, they don't immediately get it. They have to be on a wait list, and that wait list can take up up to a year. I know that firsthand. Me, Josiah, me, like, my mom and my family are on Medicaid. We recently just lost it because of the amount of hours we work. That's another thing. Healthcare goes based on my research. Healthcare goes based off of how many hours you work and where you work and how much money you have. It's basically that. If you work a certain amount more hours, you lose Medicaid, Section 8, food stamps. Like, there's so much things that play in a part only because the fact that you need to make money, but at the same time, when you're trying to make money, you're ripping that money away from you. Like, it's not fair. Healthcare should be there to help us. We should be able to be like, hey, we should not be having to put our money towards these things, and yet we're not even receiving the best of it. And we still have to pay more money just towards for it, you know? Let's see. In 2021, I know for the fact that there's 5 million people waiting on the list, as I know of. That's what, according to my research. You know, if you really put that to perspective, that's almost the size of Texas. The size of Texas, and yet all those people are waiting to get healthcare or see health professionals. But unfortunately, with how the world is so greedy of money, you can't do that. Or you can't really get the things you really need unless you have to pay, unless you pay for it as much as they're asking. That's the sad part. I just know that with healthcare, y'all should understand, people that listen to this, fellow classmates or fellow listeners, I think y'all need to understand that healthcare is really important to people. NFL players, sports athletes, doctors, nurses, all these professionals, and all these people, homeless people, recovering addicts, mental issued people. I suffer from PTSD, and I don't have the right medical insurance to even go see a doctor. That's how I know healthcare insurance is so fucked over. Excuse my French, but I mean, PTSD ain't easy, yo. Especially when the things I've been through, you need professional help. And I already had 2 therapists, and they had to pay, my mom had to pay a lot. It's just unfair. Only to seek help, you have to pay so much money just to get help. You would think, right, that if you ask for help, you're gonna get it. Not get charged for fucking asking for help. I'm kind of going off topic. Give me 1 second. Okay. Cost-wise, for a single individual, healthcare costs about $452 monthly. This is all U.S. currency. And then depending on how big your family is, let's just say it's about 3 people. You, your female wife, girlfriend, whoever, and your kid. That just raised to $1,162 a month. But if you go out, and that's internationally, the average cost of an individual is about $200, $300. Then if you have like a family member, it's up to $900 monthly. Somehow, some way, other international countries have cheaper healthcare. But again, there's also taxes and all that does come to play. But at the same time, somehow they're receiving cheaper and probably better health than the U.S. I know I'm talking your ears off. I'm trying not to. I know it's a lot. I'm kind of trying to make it short. And I will kind of cover the base over things. There's an article, not an article. There's a story. A couple that is on Medicaid. She was on healthcare or on Medicare. Medicaid, Medicare. Okay, I don't know which one it is. I think healthcare is, quote unquote, she says this. I think healthcare should not be dependent on your job or how much money you should make. A medical, and she says, she goes on and so forth, and says, we shouldn't have to make co-payments on medicine that should be already provided or covered by healthcare insurances or companies that were already paying so much money towards to cover it already. Like this couple, she says she's dealing with insulin or high blood sugar or diabetes, and she has to take insulin to have insulin, and she has to pay a copay, and she works only minimum hours at a job, because she can't work past a certain amount of hours, because if she does, she loses Medicaid. Then she has to go on and pay a full price of insulin, which, the price of insulin is about $200 to $300, depending on the size of the bottle. The size could be the size of a little eye drop bottle, or maybe the size of a I don't know, that's kind of all it. That tiny insulin thing is about $200, $300 full price. And covered, with that covered, that she still has to pay about $50, $60, which that's a lot, especially when you're only working minimum hours and you have to pay rent and all that. With inflation too, it's healthcare is going kind of nowhere. So this is the last thing I will say, and I'm gonna end the podcast because I think I've gone over too far or too much. I know it was supposed to be short and brief, but other than that, I really don't. I mean, this was supposed to be, I don't know, but like I said, y'all need to question, without healthcare, how would we be, and how would the world be without it? And if we had health, and which we do with healthcare, if we had better and kind of more or cheaper healthcare, how would the world get better at that point, or how would it affect the world? I think, in my personal opinion, it would help the world fluctuate or be positive or be better, because there's more help going for cheaper, and not trying to get an arm or a leg just for some help. But this is that podcast, and this is the end of healthcare issues or healthcare access. Like I said at the beginning of the podcast, unfortunately my partner Elijah couldn't be here because it was 12:30 when I started recording. It's about 1 o'clock right now as we speak. But me and him worked on this project, mostly I. Other than that, we put our hard work into this. I think it can make a change, possibly. Who knows? But at the end of the day, I know I was able to talk about something that needed to be talked about. So, like I said, I'm gonna end the podcast here. I hope y'all have a good night, and I hope y'all have a great day tomorrow. Catch you on the bright side. Peace.